Good evening and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Monday evening. We are back with another massive show to bring you guys this evening. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel. We're literally 5 subscribers now away from 21,000. So please do subscribe and get involved in the channel. So on the show this evening, we're going to be reacting to a story saying that Erik ten Hag's exit list of players has now been revealed. Also, we'll be bringing you some injury news, including a massive boost with Casemiro now back in training. And again, we'll be talking about that takeover, the favourite topic of everybody, that everybody's sick of talking about, with apparently it now not being announced until January. It just completely baffles me. I had to take a day off yesterday, completely away from football. So I do apologise for anybody who was trying to find me yesterday. I was not online at all. Obviously, we will talk a little bit about the Bournemouth game, but after watching that Bournemouth game, I just needed a whole day away from Manchester United because it was so frustrating, so disappointed, so let down. There's so many thoughts going through my head. So I needed a bit of time away from football, but I am back now. So apologies to anybody who was trying to find me yesterday. Yes, Fred, I did see your email, mate. I just saw that. That's completely fine. And again, thank you for all the support, mate. Right, let's get on with the show, though. So let's start off with this story about Erik ten Hag's ultimately put together a list of players that he's happy to let go in the January transfer window. So let's start off with that story because I think that's a good place to start on the show this evening. Before we do that, though, I want you to let me know in the comments section, out of our entire squad, what players do you think Manchester United need to move on? So let me know in the comments section. This story's coming out from Samuel Luckhurst, who reports for the Manchester Evening News. And he is saying that Manchester United are now open to selling Raphael Varane, Casemiro, Anthony Martial, Jadon Sancho, and Donny van de Beek in January. So let's go through that list really quickly together. Raphael Varane, I would probably say is our best centre-back, but for whatever reason doesn't get picked anymore. My theory on this is that maybe he's disrespected him behind the scenes. He's, called him out in the dressing room. Something's clearly happened between Raphael Varane and Erik ten Hag, and I don't think we'll see Raphael Varane in a United shirt again, to be honest. I hope I'm proved wrong because I think he is genuinely our best centre-back. He's better than Maguire. He's better than Lindelof. He's better than Luke Shaw as a centre-back. He's better than Johnny Evans. And I think he's better than Martinez as well. I genuinely think Varane is our best centre-back. But for whatever reason, he's not getting picked. You've got Luke Shaw playing at left-sided centre-back, which didn't work against Bournemouth. You've got Johnny Evans at the age of 35 getting picked ahead of him. So if this is the case and Erik ten Hag's not going to pick him, then you've got to let him go, haven't you? You can't have somebody of Raphael Varane's calibre sat on the bench on 350 grand a week. It just simply cannot happen. Varane, I would keep, but if something's happened behind the scenes that we don't know about and he hasn't got a future, then get rid of him. Casemiro, I was a little bit 50-50 about Casemiro a couple of months ago. I thought, if we got a big bid for him, maybe sell him, bring in a younger player. But at the moment, seeing Scott McTominay in that midfield every week, I would much rather have Casemiro play there. I think Casemiro and Amrabat or Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo, that is way better than playing McTominay. If you play McTominay, it's ultimately like you're playing without a midfielder. Yes, he contributes going forward, but the defensive side of the game, the reading of the game, the positional awareness of the game, he's literally offers nothing. So he might get into the box and get you a goal, which is obviously great, and I like that side of his game, but playing him in a CDM role is completely pointless, and he just simply doesn't do it. That's why you see Bruno Fernandes running half the length of the pitch to come and, track back when ultimately McTominay should do that. So for me, Casemiro is a 50-50. I personally, I wouldn't let Casemiro go in January. I think that would be a mistake. I think our midfield would be much better with him instead of McTominay in there. And if you did want McTominay to offer things going forward, put him further up the pitch. I mean, Højlund's clearly not really firing at the moment. Anthony Martial got picked ahead of him on the weekend, which was very strange. I honestly would rather have McTominay as the striker than Anthony Martial. I would. Because McTominay actually gets goals. He finds himself in the right position. He's got a good shot on him. I genuinely would rather see Scott McTominay start than Anthony Martial, because Anthony Martial just doesn't offer anything for me anymore. And he is the next person on that list, Anthony Martial. For me personally, if we got an offer for Anthony Martial in January, I would sell him 150% without even blinking. He has to go for me. He's leaving in the summer. And the headline this afternoon, everybody, is coming from David Ornstein, is that Manchester United do not intend to activate the extension to Anthony Martial's contract. So for anybody wondering what the situation with Martial is, his contract expires in June. he will officially be gone in June. But United do have the option to add 1 extra year into that deal. So Manchester United can trigger that. But as I just said, The Athletic this afternoon are reporting that Manchester United will not activate this option. So as far as it stands at this moment in time, Martial will be 100% gone by June. 100%. But there is the potential that he might leave in the January transfer window. And if we could get some money from him in January, I would sell him in a heartbeat. Because as I said, as controversial and stupid as it may sound, I would 1,000,000% rather see Scott McTominay play as a striker than him. Because then that would allow Casemiro, Mainu, somebody else to hold that, the CDM role that McTominay just clearly can't play. So that's my take on that one. Next up, we've got Jadon Sancho. Again, he's got to go, no doubt about that. And finally, Donny van der Beek. And again, with Donny, it hasn't worked. I feel bad for him, but he definitely has to leave. Yeah. But let me know what you guys think about that. Who do you think Erik ten Hag should be looking to move on? I mean, that's just 5 players. You could easily make an argument for Dalot, Maguire, Johnny Evans. Obviously, Reguilon's going to go back. The list probably goes on. There's probably another 5 to 10 players that you could debate about whether they should be moved on. Some people would say Rashford should go. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? Malp's saying that Anthony Martial's going in the summer. Franco says the players I would let go in January would be Varane, Sancho, Martial, and Van der Beek. Yeah, I would agree with you there, mate. I would agree. Richard says, yes, I agree with you, mate. McTominay over Martial leading the line. 100%, mate. 100%. Fred says, do you think these fallouts with the players will sway his removal from the board, Kieran? I don't know, mate. I really, really don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. It's difficult. I just hope and pray that we win tomorrow and we get, a stroke of luck and Galatasaray draw with Copenhagen and we go through. Not because I think we're going to win the Champions League, but I just think it will keep Erik ten Hag in his job. I think that if we go out tomorrow and then we get battered by Liverpool, I think he's going to be in big trouble. I really, really do. Do I want that to happen? No. But we know what Manchester United are like. Maybe Jim Ratcliffe already has another manager in mind. Like, we just simply don't know, do we? And I think most fans are still behind Erik ten Hag. There's a few people who are like, sack him. And I don't really get it because I think if you're going to sack somebody, you have to have a plan. And Manchester United's plan when they sack a manager is to bring in a caretaker. Okay? So for people to say, oh, well, it's not my job to tell you who to bring in as the next manager. I mean, I just think that's a bit of a half-assed answer. Okay? Because we know that Manchester United, when they sack a manager, they don't have a world-class manager lined up. We simply don't. You sacked Ollie, you bring in Ragnick. We sacked Mourinho, you bring in Ollie. Do you see what I'm saying? You sacked... the only real one that we did was we sacked Ollie, we brought in Ragnick, and then in the summer we brought in Ten Hag. But it was still like 50-50 between whether we got Poch or Ten Hag, wasn't it? It wasn't like we sacked Ollie and then the next morning Zidane was the manager. It was we sacked Ollie, and then we had to suffer the rest of the season with Ralph Ragnick, and it was terrible football. Like, I just don't want that to happen again. I don't trust the Glazers. And I think that unless we actually have a stable plan here, like, I just don't think it's the sensible option for me personally. But obviously things can change very, very quickly. Obviously, if we were to get battered by Bayern tomorrow and then get battered against Liverpool, I would think he'd be in big trouble personally. But what I will say is this, is it's really positive that it seems a lot of the press, a lot of the kind of media do seem to be behind Erik ten Hag. Obviously, Gary Neville's come out backing him today. A couple of other of the kind of ex-players, of Rio Ferdinand's come out backing him today. And I think that's the correct decision to do. And they're all pointing the finger at the people up above. They're saying, we don't have a director of football. We don't have a proper CEO. We don't have a proper recruitment team. Like, how can you just keep sacking managers, but all of the rest of the stuff isn't working either? Like, it doesn't make sense. The other stuff should happen first. Richard says we should go for Unai Emery. I mean, it's impossible for me to sit here and not respect what Unai Emery has done at Aston Villa. He's done an incredible job. He has. Absolutely incredible job. But the thing is, right, and as well, with Unai Emery, you have to say, Gerrard left them, I think, in the relegation zone, didn't he? They were in absolute disarray. But I said this in the summer. The recruitment that Aston Villa did last summer was absolutely spectacular. Unbelievable. They had an incredible January window. They brought in Pau Torres. who we've been linked to for years. He's a quality player. They brought in Moussa Diaby, again, an unbelievable player. Like, if you look through the spine of Aston Villa's team, right? Emi Martinez, I would have over Onana. I would have Pau Torres and Diogo Carlos over Luke Shaw and Maguire as the two centre-backs. Digne, I would say, is 50-50 with Shaw. And Konza, I would probably have over Dalot. You move into the rest of their team. John McGinn, I would have over Rashford at this point. Douglas Luiz, I would have over Amrabat. And Kamara, I would probably have over McTominay. Leon Bailey, I would have over Anthony. Tielemans, I probably wouldn't have over Bruno. And Watkins, I would have over Højlund or Martial, genuinely. Like, they have got a good team. Better team than us, definitely, 100%. 150%, they've got a better team than us. And even, they've got a couple of people injured as well. Tyrone Mings, Buendia, Bertrand Traore, Moussa Diaby didn't even play on Saturday, So they've got a really, really good squad there. But still, somebody says Emery will fall soon. Daniel says Emery on his way for a title in Champions League. He isn't coming to Manchester United. Alan says changing the manager will change nothing. Yeah, I agree. Alan says Martinez was back in training today. Yes, as well as Casemiro as well. Chris says they're all calling out the Glazers all of a sudden again. It makes you wonder. Malp says Digne is quality at set pieces, just like Ward-Prowse. Yes, he is. Right, let's crack on with the rest of the show, though. Obviously, the big injury boost for Manchester United is that Casemiro is back in training. And for me, as soon as Casemiro is fit again, he has to play. Like, our midfield is just getting completely sliced through. If McTominay starts against Bayern tomorrow, we're in big trouble. I genuinely believe that, unless he's playing further up the pitch. I do think that Højlund will probably start the game tomorrow because he's done so well in the Champions League. But for me, you would have to have Amrabat and Mainu in that midfield because McTominay doesn't do the defensive work. Going forward, I think he offers something, but defensively, he offers nothing. So tomorrow's going to be a really, really big day. Yeah. What else have we got? Somebody's asking me if I've dyed my hair. No, I haven't dyed my hair. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I haven't dyed my hair, mate. Let's have a look. What else we got in the chat? Claire says Emery is a better manager than Ten Hag. I mean, to be honest with you, Claire, it's pretty hard to deny that. Unai Emery has won way more trophies than Erik Ten Hag. So yeah, he probably is a better manager than Ten Hag based on his credentials. He's won the Europa, I think, 4 times. Erik Ten Hag's never won a European competition. The guy's won the Europa 4 times. He won the league in France. He obviously won the French Cup a couple of times. He won the French Super Cup. Like, this guy has won the League Cup. He won it 3 years in a row, the Europa League. Let that sink in. Like, Erik Ten Hag's never won a European trophy. He got to, I think, the quarterfinal of the Champions League. That's the best he's ever done. So, yeah, I probably would say Unai Emery is a better manager than Erik Ten Hag. I would. But, and that's not even me being controversial. You've just got to look at what they've done in their career. He's achieved way more than what Erik Ten Hag has. Would I prefer him over Erik Ten Hag? I don't know. It's impossible to say because in a couple of games' time, they might have lost the next 2 games and everyone will say, oh, he's rubbish. Like, the same people who were saying Unai Emery were saying De Zerbi like a month ago. And then they went and lost loads of games and now people are like, I don't want De Zerbi anymore. So it's things change very, very quickly in the Premier League. At the moment, they're the informed team. At the moment, he is probably the best manager in the Premier League based on form, based on, beating Man City and Arsenal back to back. Like, that's incredible. They're sat 3rd in the table. But is he better than Erik Ten Hag? I'll say this now, actually. I don't even care. He probably is a better manager than Erik Ten Hag, yeah. I genuinely think he is, Unai Emery. He's won more in his time. It didn't work for him at Arsenal, but obviously that was just after Arsene Wenger had left, so it was going to be very difficult. Chris says, why would he leave Villa? People need to be realistic. Yeah, mate, the amount of money that it would cost to get Unai Emery at Manchester United, it would be ridiculous. I think he's just signed a new contract. Malp says, I don't want to see Martial or Rashford anywhere near the first team. I agree. Irvin says, get rid of the toxic players first before you sack Erik Ten Hag in. I would 100% agree with you, mate. 100%. Irvin also says, it's hard not to be a good manager when you have Mbappe, Neymar and Messi in your team. Let's be real. Mate, he didn't win the Europa with Mbappe and Neymar, etc. He won the Europa with Sevilla and Villarreal. They beat us in the final, remember? That was Unai Emery. He beat us in the final when Oli was here. That was Unai Emery, 2020 and 21 season. So, yeah, he didn't really actually do that well at PSG, to be honest. He won the league, I think, and then got sacked the next year because he didn't get to the round of the Champions League they wanted. But he is, the type of man who seems to always win the what's it called? Europa League. Scott says, is Rashford banned from the Bayern game? No, Rashford will be available. I think the only person who's not going to be available is Lindelof. He is apparently ill, I think I heard earlier on today. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got in the chat. Everybody who's just joined, please do make sure to smash a like on the video and subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you haven't already. We're on the we're literally like 5 subscribers away from 21,000 now. So if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I know everyone's feeling a little bit miserable at the moment still, but yeah, please do go and subscribe if you haven't already. Right, let's crack on with the rest of the show though. Where are we? Right, let's talk about the takeover for a couple of minutes before we end the video. Now, this is coming out from a couple of different journalists this afternoon, and the headline is that apparently the Manchester United 25% takeover may not now be announced until the new year. I mean, how convenient is that? First of all, it was going to be like November, then it was December. It was always, it will be in time for the January transfer window. Now they're saying that it could be delayed until January. So what does that mean for Manchester United? It probably means that we'll maybe do a loan signing. It probably means that if players leave, we'll bring in people. But I don't imagine there to be much movement now in the January window because we were really relying on Jim Ratcliffe, a new director of football, a new CEO to come in and to kind of take hold of the club in the January window. But my prediction is they won't even be in the, in the kingdom. They won't have the keys to Old Trafford and all the rest of it probably until January's been and gone. So I think we need to focus on the summer now. And for me, I think there might have been some substance at the end of this month to reconsider Erik ten Hag's position if, you had Jim Ratcliffe in, they had a big amount of money, they had a new manager lined up, then maybe you could buy into that. But for me, getting rid of Erik ten Hag now, when ultimately we know that there's no money in January, like, what's the point? What's the point? I just think that even to get top 4 this season is going to be very, very difficult. And I said that at the beginning of the season. I said that before everyone was feeling miserable. I said that after we finished 3rd last season, and won a trophy. I thought top 4 this year is going to be incredibly hard. Aston Villa are looking unbelievable. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City are obviously doing great. Tottenham are right up there. Newcastle are there. Brighton are there. Like, the league is so competitive now. And sacking the manager now, for me, is just completely pointless. Regardless of whether Jim Ratcliffe comes in, there is no plan in place until Jim's in, until Jean-Claude Blanc, Paul Mitchell, whoever it might be, are in there making decisions. I would just leave it as it is because I just think that it will make more of a mess than what we have already. So yeah, that's my take on it. Irvin says, what is your prediction for the game tomorrow? That's a great question. Do let me know in the comment section, guys. What is your score prediction for the Manchester United Bayern game? I think we're going to beat them. I think we're going to win. But I think that the Galatasaray Copenhagen result, ultimately, this is the situation, right? Let me just double check this before I say it, just in case I'm wrong. Obviously, if we win tomorrow, we'll be on 7 points. If Copenhagen win tomorrow, they'll be on 8 points. If Galatasaray win, they'll be on 8 points. So the only way we qualify for the game tomorrow is if we beat Bayern Munich. A draw wouldn't be a draw wouldn't be enough because of goal difference. We have to win tomorrow, and Galatasaray and Copenhagen have to draw. We would then be on 7 points. Galatasaray and Copenhagen would both be on 6, and Bayern Munich would be on 13. So the only way, it would take an absolute miracle, wouldn't it, for us to win and for that game to draw. Stranger things have happened in football, but I think we will win, but I ultimately think it will be for nothing, and we'll end up in the Europa League. I would probably rather just not have Europa League football now, to be honest, but I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 about it, Let me know in the comment section, guys. Let's fast forward to tomorrow evening, 10 o'clock. What would be... Obviously, everyone would rather beat Bayern and go through to the next round. But say we don't go through to the next round. Would you rather just be out of Europe altogether? Or would you rather go into the Europa League? Let me know in the comment section what your decision is. This is obviously if we don't qualify for the next round of the Champions League. Do you want to be in the Europa come January, or would you rather just be in no European competition at all? Obviously, being in Europa should potentially give us a little bit more money. We're talking a couple of million. To be honest, just being in the Europa just kills me. Like, even the theme tune, It kills me inside. I don't know why it does. It just like makes my skin crawl when I hear that theme tune for the Europa. And being completely honest with you as well, I don't even think we'd win the Europa, so it's kind of pointless. Maybe that's me being negative, but when you look at the teams that are in Europa, you've got Marseille, Brighton, Liverpool, Villarreal, Roma, Bayern Leverkusen. Like, I honestly think every single one of those teams would either beat us or give us a very good game. Leverkusen are unbelievable, top of Bundesliga. I think they would beat us comfortably. Roma, I think obviously Jose Mourinho there, I think they'd beat us. Villarreal would probably beat us. Liverpool would beat us. Sporting Lisbon would beat us. Marseille, I don't really know much about. Brighton have already beaten us at home this season. And West Ham, I would say, could easily beat us as well. So those are the teams kind of at the top of the groups in the Europa at the moment. And obviously there will be teams that drop down from the Champions League. So, I mean, if you look at the group that Newcastle are in, at the moment in Newcastle's group, Newcastle will drop down. One of Dortmund, PSG or AC Milan are going to be in the Europa. I think all of those teams would beat us. Well, I mean, they have. Newcastle beat us 3-0 a couple of weeks ago. So my point being here, obviously it sounds a bit negative, but I think Europa is probably too good for us even at this moment in time. Like, I don't think we would be favourites. Big ups to Fred, who has just done a super chat, $49.99. I think he wanted me to do some gifted membership. So let me see how I do that quickly before we end the video. Let me work out how to do that. Thank you so much for your support, Fred. I really, really do appreciate it. And thank you to all of the people who watch every single week. If you are new to the channel, obviously, please do subscribe. I'm just going to try and work out how to gift these memberships. But yeah, I know it sounds a little bit damning. I'll work that out in a minute, Fred. I'm just checking how we do it. I know it sounds a little bit damning, a little bit negative, a little bit depressing, and I get that, and I apologize, but I'm just giving you I'm just giving you my feelings, and my honest feelings are that. Let me just have a quick look at this. Actually, you're not going to believe what I'm typing in now. I'm checking out the Europa Conference League table. I mean, the Europa Conference League is our level. Club Brugge, Aston Villa, Fiorentina, Eintracht Frankfurt, Lille. I think all of those teams would give us a good game. And I think that's genuinely our level now, Europa Conference League, at the moment. I would say even then, we'll be favourites in the bookies if we were in the Conference League. But I think we would maybe still struggle to win that at the moment. Aston Villa would beat us at the moment. Fiorentina probably would. Lille probably would. The teams in the Europa Conference League is realistically our level right now. So I know that's a little bit depressing. I know everyone's probably, Malp says it's not negative, it's the truth. Yeah, I try and not be negative on this channel, but there's no point being deluded. I'm just trying to work out how to gift some memberships because I said to Fred that I would. How the hell do I do it? If anybody knows how to gift memberships, let me know. Chat publicly. All right, I'm not sure how to gift memberships, but I will be gifting some memberships on the next stream. I won't forget, Fred. I will 100% do it on the next stream. I just need to work out how to do it. I'll Google it once the stream's finished. But thank you to everyone who's joined me on the show this evening. I will be back tomorrow morning, business as usual. Again, apologies for the radio silence yesterday. I was so... I don't want to go as far as saying depressed because that's a little bit maybe too much, but I just felt so down and frustrated after that Bournemouth game that I just had to not. I just didn't want to talk about Manchester United yesterday. I just took some time away for it, and I think it was good. It really, really was, because it's very, very difficult to support this team at the moment, and very, very difficult to feel positive about this team because we have one good game and then we lose 3-0 to Bournemouth, and it's a roller coaster emotionally, mentally. So everybody, I hope everyone's good. I hope everyone's doing okay. It's not getting too much. Thank you again for watching the show this evening. I really, really do appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow morning at 8:30, so I'll see you then. And I will be gifting a load of memberships tomorrow. Thank you to Fred for that. So yeah, I'll speak to you guys all tomorrow. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Do let me know your score predictions for the game tomorrow in the comments section. One more question quickly before we go. Lucas says, are you still Erik ten Hag in? Yes. Yeah, 100%. 100%, mate. 100% still... Irvin says, hit the $sign. Yeah, when I hit the $sign, it doesn't give me the option to gift. It just says super sticker or super chat. I'll Google it. Lucas says, are you still Erik ten Hag in? I am still Erik ten Hag in, mate. I am. yeah, I am still 100% Erik ten Hag in, because I just don't buy into this whole thing of like, oh, well, you know, the Glazers know what they're doing. They know who the next manager is. They don't even know what they're having for breakfast. They don't know what they're having for dinner. They don't know what they're going to wear that day, let alone who the next manager is going to be. So for me, until we have competent people in, you know, Sir Jim, Paul Mitchell, Jean-Claude Blanc, you know, if they come in and say, Zinedine Zidane's the man for the future, these are the players we're going to buy, this is our budget, I'll get behind it. I will. But at the moment, I'm 100% Erik ten Hag in. He is the manager for me until somebody gives me something which is better. And I don't think that's available at the moment. Thank you to everybody. Please do make sure to smash a like before you go. Please do subscribe. Again, thank you to everyone who watches every single day. I'll speak to you at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Have a lovely evening, everyone. And yeah, speak soon.